Hi, my name is Jean Williams, and I wanted to share with you my travel album that I just recently completed from an Italy trip I took in the fall of 2022. And I used the 10 by 8 buildable album from the 2022 travel collections from Ali Edwards Design, and I think it turned out great. The first couple pages I made when I was a guest storyteller for the Wander story kit from Ali Edwards. And so I did a title page on a 6x8 transparency and added one of the transparent circles from the Wander collection that says, "Let's Get Lost." And I put 2022 in gold number stickers, puffy, from the December Daily collection. And I believe the Starbursts were an add-on to the Wander kit. And I love how that turned out. And then behind it, I just added some circles in the middle to fill that out from previous travel collections, and I think this one was from the Wander story kit. And then this paper was from the Wander story kit. It had the circles on it with this title circle, and I used some chipboard alpha from a previous travel collection to spell Italy. And then each of the circles I added pictures from the different locations we went to in Sorrento, in Rome. This was a dinner in the town where our villa was. Here was our villa in Tuscany, which was outside of Florence, and this is Florence. And then these were all from the Wander kit, and I really love the way they turned out. It's really fun. And then on the back, I just used some more of the Wander paper and added the dates of the trip. And then this page was the last one I made as a guest storyteller for the Wander kit, using some of its components about our first day when we arrived in Sorrento. So I did this album by day because we were exploring different places each day. So each day includes a 10 by 8 page protector of this configuration with 2 4x6 spots and 2 4x4 spots. And then a 6x8 insert with 4 3x4 photos on each side, or cards. And then a large 10 by 8 outside the page protector photo. And I really love the 10 by 8 album for the travel albums because these full page photos are just really, I think, stars of the album. So that's how I approached each page, and some of them have a few more inserts. I did do a lot of cutting down 4x6 cards to 4x4 to fit in these pockets. This one was from the Wander kit, and that's the Wander Gold Word. And then I used some 4x4 journaling cards, either from previous travel collections, and this was from, I believe, one of the quarterly scrapbook kits from last year, the Numbers kit. It has a room for a circle in the middle, so I put embellishments and then journaled there. So this was our first night in Sorrento, and then our first full day the next day, this includes. And I do have these cards from a previous, I think it's a really old Everyday Explorers set of cards that have walk, go, and eat, and those are really fun to describe some of the travel things. I keep all my journaling cards organized, and all the travel ones are together, so when I'm doing a travel album, I pull out all my stash of travel items. So I add those to the collections I'm currently working with. And I loved using these these map hearts that were, I believe, from 2 years ago collection, and putting a little tag in there on the large photos. This was our second full day in Sorrento, and we did a bus trip to Pompeii, which truly was amazing. If you ever have the opportunity, you should go. So I love that full page photo, and this is another one of those cards from Everyday Explorers. Photos from that trip. We went for an afternoon to Positano in the pouring rain, which was kind of crazy. This is a really old card from Ali Edwards that I'm happy to finally use. And then I used these craft pockets, which were from last year's collection, to journal on some of the days. And I love how those look. They're fun to add either wood piece or chipboard to the front of that. So that's a wood piece with a little geotag. And then this was the day that we left Sorrento and took the train to Rome. So I had fun creating this title card using some of the pattern paper. And then they had global icon puffy stickers from last year's collection, and a 10 by 8 paper that had some of the world locations. So I cut those out and then layered it with some other items to create this. This was cut down from 4x6. So here's pictures from our first afternoon in Rome and meeting up with friends. And I love this picture of the Trevi Fountain. And then I stamped on this chipboard with one of the travel collection stamps and added a little rickrack. I also really enjoyed using the big plastic words that were from the travel collection 2 years ago. I hadn't used many of those, and those worked great on these photos. This is a picture of St. Peter's from a castle we went to called Castle St. Angelo, which was beautiful. So this was how we spent our day. I also used a lot of journal cards and chipboard from the Foodie collection, which was released by Ali Edwards probably 4 or 5 years ago now, but it was perfect to describe all the delicious food in Italy. So those were fun to use. Here's another one of the craft pockets with my journaling, and I added our ticket to the castle on top with another wood veneer circle and geotag. And then the next day we took the train to Florence, and this was truly a dream come true. We rented a villa for a week with 3 other couples who are dear friends of ours, and it was something we'd been planning to do for several years. So it was just amazing. The villa was stunning, and it was just such a great experience. So I used, this is also from the Foodie collection because we had a big chef's dinner that night. This was the dining room. I used another one of these 4x4 cards from the numbered scrapbook kit with a chipboard in the middle. This was a view from the arch in our villa, and I believe this was from the Wander collection, the vellum heart. And then I used this 10x8 paper from last year's collection and cut it down to 6x8 and added our train tickets and some stamping about the train and some chipboard, and then journaling about getting to the villa. And then I used this Escape, which was from a couple years ago, and Hearts and Trip of a Lifetime, really fun. Our first night at the villa and our chef's dinner, which was just so much fun. So these are from the Foodie collection. And then this was a view of the sunset over the pool at the villa, our first night. The second day we were at the villa, we spent most of the day at the villa exploring, which was really nice. So I used another one of these plastic words, and I think these chipboard phrases were from an add-on from last year's collection. This was another one of those cards, the walk cards, which are fun, and a super old patch I've had, so I'm glad I was able to use that. And for each of my inserts, I like to add either tab stickers, some from the travel collection, some other ones to the edge there, so you know it's an insert. We made a really great antipasta dinner that night. We went and bought local prosciutto and cheese and made salad and tomato mozzarella from their garden on the vineyard. So there was a vineyard on the property, from the garden on the property, and this is a vineyard on the property. I had a stamp that said "Love Local Wine," which is fun. I think this moon was from the evening collection, but I thought it worked great here. And then here's another one of the craft pockets for journaling. And then this day we took a day trip to San Gimignano and Siena. It's hard for me to say, San Gimignano, I think. And they were just beautiful little medieval towns. So I added a bit of a larger insert with all these beautiful photos from the towns. Here we are in Siena. We had a nice lunch. And this was cut down from a 10x8 paper from last year's travel collection. And then on the back, I added a photo of our good friends and my husband and I in the piazza in Siena. And then here's a view of the beautiful Tuscan countryside as we were driving. And then I believe this vellum heart is from the Wander collection and this chipboard as well. And then the next day was our day to explore Florence. This is a super old travel collection item from Ali Edwards, which was fun to use. This was kind of a crazy day because my husband went on a bike ride in the morning and got in a bike accident and broke his finger, which was not ideal. Luckily, he was fine, but it was kind of a crazy day. So I found some sort of like dislike, nope, not good, not fun, meh, and used those. And then I tucked in a little photo of my husband's finger all bandaged because I figure you don't really need to see that front and center. So that's back there. I thought the "More Coffee Please" was perfect for that. And then we explored Florence. We did get to see David, which was amazing. And we had lunch on a rooftop overlooking the city with beautiful views. So we did try to make the best of the day. And then this was another 4x4 card from last year's collection, which worked well for journaling. The next day we spent at the villa, just sort of taking a rest day and letting my husband recuperate and enjoying the views. I did some reading. So I love this picture. My friend Pat is a photographer, and he took that of me on our balcony. And then I have a few stickers that were from a recent Everyday Explorers release. These are some old puffy travel stickers. And here's one of those eat cards. Another fun dinner with the 8 of us. And then this was a picture of my friends, and outside we were having happy hour at the villa by the pool. So I love that photo. And then the next day we took one couple to the train station and explored Florence a little more. So another plastic word. And then this is a view of Florence from the piazza that's above the city. My husband and I went to a really fun cafe, and I got gluten-free pizza. So I love these photos. You can see his finger bandaged up there. And then we explored Florence a little bit, and we played cards every night at the villa. So I thought this was fun to include. And here's another about this meal from the foodie collection. Then I used one of the 10x8 papers from last year again and cut it down to sort of create a holding space decorated page. This circle is from the Wander collection. This one's from these are from previous travel collections. So that looks fun. And then this is one of my favorite photos of our favorite dinner. Unfortunately, one couple had left, but we had a Tuscan steak dinner with local Chianti, this teeny little place, and it was so much fun. So I love that photo, and I added another one of the map hearts with the little tag inside. And then our sunset and drinks at the villa, and more journaling in one of the craft pockets. And then our last day, we took a road trip to Chianti, and we went to both Grevin Chianti and Castellina in Chianti. So that was a lot of fun. So I used another craft pocket. I put it behind there, so the journaling is kind of tucked away, but I think that's fine. And then I used to put some stamping and cut up one of the semicircle cards. We did an olive oil tasting that morning, which was really a lot of fun. My friend Colette was so excited about it, so I love that photo of her. And these are both from the Wander collection. And then I found this cute little puffy sticker that said, "I'll drink to that," which I thought was funny because we were supposed to sip the olive oil, and her husband was just gulping it down, which was a hoot. And this was the other town, Castellino in Chianti. And then our last moonrise at the villa. So I thought this chipboard from last year was perfect. Find Me Under the Stars. And then I finished my album by using the 10x8 grid paper from last year's collection. And I took a bunch of ephemera from restaurants we had been to, business cards, etc., cut those up, and I took pictures of a lot of the food we ate, most of it. I used some chipboard from the foodie collection and another collection there. And I typed up what all the meals were just on regular printer paper and cut that out to adhere to the photos. And I love the way this turned out. I used chipboard from the foodie collection, and then these 3 were from a previous travel collection. So I think this is my favorite spread of the album. I love how it turned out. And then I did a little insert about us heading home. And then I had this card saved from a couple years ago. And so I used some of the ephemera that I had collected to put on the card. This is my husband's bracelet from the emergency room in Florence when he had to get his finger x-rayed. So that's kind of fun to have in there. And then on the back, so happy to leave, so happy to come home. A picture of my husband arriving back home with his brand new Italy backpack, which I love. Then I sort of just journaled moments to remember from the trip. And then I finished the album with 2 of the 10x8 papers from last year's collection. I Never Want to Stop Making Memories with You, which I just thought was perfect. And I put the globe there and a circle picture of my husband and the word adventure in a heart. I love that photo. So I think that encapsulates our trip really well. And then I finished with this Wander paper from last year's collection and an old chipboard I have that says our vacation, destination Italy, and the dates of the trip. And I really love the way this album turned out. I think it's going to be a treasure. So I hope you enjoyed this little flip through, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.